Hey race fans, it's race day, top 5 with me, Frank 5. What a day, what a race to start off the 2019 season with the Daytona 500. The 61st running had it all, passing for the lead, no single file Ryan up top, multiple crashes at the end which set up a remarkable entertaining finish, and a team that was racing with heavy hearts pulled through with a man who didn't win a single race at all last season. Number 1, Denny Hamlin, who for the first time since his rookie season in 2006 went winless last year. And this year, he starts off by winning the Daytona 500 over his teammate Kyle Busch in the 18, his other teammate Eric Jones, Joey Logano, the defending Monster Energy Cup Series champion, and Michael McDowell. And Denny Hamlin, you can't deny that he is a really good restrictor plate racer. I mean, he won the 500, obviously the closest 500 ever 3 years ago when I started my channel recapping that race. And, you know, he's been able to carry success at the other restrictor plate tracks. But after not winning a single race last year, people were really concerned, does Denny Hamlin still have it in him to win races? And by golly, today he proved all the doubters and all those haters that thought his career was going nowhere wrong by winning his second Daytona 500, and a race that was filled with heavy hearts for him and his whole team, because over the offseason we lost J.D. Gibbs, who is Joe Gibbs' son, after a long battle with medical disease that was affecting his life. So J.D. was looking down on Denny today, and he did something very special for J.D. And Denny said every lap that he led in the 509, maybe I assume it's also for the rest of the season, that about a total of $1,100 will go towards the charity for J.D. Gibbs, which I think is a wonderful cause. And I mean, you know, Denny Hamlin, he's really deserving of this after not winning a race at all last year. So I'm happy for him, and I'm happy for the Gibbs organization that they have something to celebrate and honor J.D. Gibbs, which I think is pretty remarkable. Number 2, Joey Logano, the defending Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series champion, gave Denny Hamlin a run for his money towards the end, but didn't really have the help behind him because there were a lot of torn up cars, which I'll get to pretty soon. But he just, he put up a great effort. Like, the back of his car is actually tore up, and he gave Hamlin a run for the money. But unfortunately, Hamlin had his teammate Kyle Busch, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, comes that Jones boy, and just compromised Logano's shot at winning a 500. But nonetheless, the defending champion of the series is off to a remarkable start. He really was one of the strongest Ford Mustangs all weekend, and a 4th place finish where he exactly started today is a good start for his chance to go for back-to-back championships for the first time since Jimmy Johnson won 5 in a row. So, Joey fans, there's a lot of optimism for your season coming up. Number 3, the racing in general. There was so much concern after the clash and the duels when we kept running the top. Were we going to see double file racing? We saw a lot of it today, and I couldn't be happier. I mean, there were maybe like 5 laps we kept running the top, and then caution came out to ruin it and basically force everybody to go back racing for the lead, and people kept making the bottom lane work, which was not a factor at all in those preliminary events or the Xfinity Series race yesterday. So everybody that tried the bottom today and made it work, kudos. You made the racing, you made the 500 much more exciting than the preliminary events in yesterday's Xfinity race. Great job, everybody, for putting together quite a show today. Number 4 would have to be based off of recapping a little incident on pit road during green flag pit stops towards the end. People like Jimmy Johnson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and defending Xfinity Series champion Tyler Reddick were trying to come on pit road. And the Rick Ware racing cars of BJ McLeod and Cody Ware, who are making their 500 debut, made contact and ran into the back of people of Tyler Reddick and Jimmy Johnson on pit road. And I'm going, what is wrong with you? Why do you make contact with your teammate, first of all? Not Rick Ware's fault. The drivers were just not using their heads. Just absolutely embarrassing, and you took out almost a bunch of really good cars. Fortunately, 2 out of those 3 cars ended up finishing the race. Jimmy Johnson ended up 9th, Stenhouse in the top 15, but that was one of the freak incidents of the day. And number 5, the first 2 stages, fairly calm. The final stage, the beginning was fairly calm, but towards the end, after that pit road crash, the mayhem began. With about 10 laps to go, Matt DiBenedetto, who in his first race with the Levine Family Racing with the Gibbs Alliance, who led the most laps today and had a really strong chance to win the 500, was pulling the outside lane, and Paul Menard, right behind him, got into the back of DiBenedetto and sent him around and collected multiple cars, including Eric Almirola, who got turned in the last 2 corners of the last lap of the 500 last year, and 2017 champion Martin Truex Jr., as well as our defending 500 winner, Austin Dillon. A lot of good cars were taken out in that wreck. And for Paul Menard, who was the victim of the Jimmy Johnson Clash accident last week was the cause of this week's wreck. So shame on Paul. But that wasn't all. We had more incidents late in the going with Stenhouse and Larson and Newman, and then we had Clint Boyer and a couple of other contenders collecting Polster, William Byron, Alex Bowman, and those guys. I mean, we just calamity corn. Like 19 cars out of the 40 finished this race. I mean, I'm glad the racing at the end was very exciting with all the crashes, but I mean, a lot of guys got to go back to their shops and build new cars before we get ready to go to Talladega. Finally, Chase Elliott, we had a really strong car today. We really didn't get out front, but we stayed in the top 5, top 10, 15, top 15 for the majority of the race. We fell to the back. We worked our way to the front. And then we kind of dodged that big one that involved the Benedetto, Truex, and those guys. Got a little bit of damage spinning, but didn't really hurt us. And then we got damage in another incident. And then the final incident with the one with Clint Boyer and Byron is what did us in, and we didn't finish the race. We finished 17th, though, because so many other cars were taken out before then. I mean, it sucks that we didn't finish, but 17th finish it's not bad to start the season. We got stage points from the dual finish on Thursday and dual points from today's stage 1. So not bad. Not a bad start to the season for Chase Elliott. Better than where we were last year at the beginning. So I think he's going to have a strong run next week at his home track at Atlanta. So I hope everybody that watched the Daytona 500 today got what they wanted. Racing for the lead and a lot of passing and trying to make the bottom lane worked. We got all that, and I hope you are happy with the result. And I'd like to say congratulations to Denny Hamlin and the Gibbs team for winning while racing with heavy hearts for J.D. Gibbs. So next week it's Atlanta and the debut of the new tampered spacer aero package for these 1.5 to 2 mile tracks. So will it make the racing interesting? Or will it just allow Kevin Harvick to dominate like he did at Atlanta a year ago? Only time will tell. So subscribe, like, and I hope you all enjoyed the Daytona 500. The season is on!